The message came at 7:12 a.m. I remember because my coffee hadn't finished brewing. The screen lit up, soft vibration on the counter. I wasn't expecting anything dramatic, maybe a reminder, maybe a grocery list. Instead, it was a sentence that erased 8 years of my life in 12 words. Cancel Europe. My kids want their real dad. No greeting. No explanation, just a decision already made. I stared at the screen, waiting for anger to arrive. It didn't. What came instead was a strange, clarifying calm, the kind that settles when the last illusion finally dies. I typed nothing back. I didn't need to. The message wasn't a conversation, it was a verdict. I sipped my coffee. Bitter. Appropriate. I met her when the kids were still learning how to tie their shoes. Their biological father was a ghost, a name spoken carefully like a curse that might come true if said too loudly. I didn't replace him. I never tried to. I just showed up. Every day. Lunches packed, school pickups, parent-teacher meetings, nightmares at 3 a.m. when they'd crawl into my bed because monsters didn't respond to logic. They called me Dad before she ever asked me to marry her. I paid for braces. I paid for therapy. I paid for the apartment upgrade when they needed space. I paid because I believed in building something that would outlast gratitude. Europe was supposed to be our victory lap, a quiet celebration of surviving the hard years. I'd booked it 6 months earlier, non-refundable. She cried when I surprised her. Now, apparently, the kids had voted me out. The signs had been there. They always are. The sudden defensiveness when I asked about her phone, the new password, the way the kids stopped telling me about their day but whispered everything to her. How she flinched when I called myself their dad in public. Small fractures, hairline cracks, easy to ignore if you're invested in the structure. The real shift came 3 weeks earlier when I overheard her on the balcony. She didn't know I was home. "He's been good," she said quietly, "but they're old enough now. They're asking questions." A pause, then softer. "Yes. He's back, and they want to try." I didn't confront her. Pain is loud, but information is valuable. I chose to listen. By the time the text arrived, I already knew what real dad meant. He'd resurfaced, nostalgia with a pulse. A man who'd disappeared when responsibility showed up, now ready to reclaim the benefits without the work. What surprised me wasn't her betrayal, it was how cleanly it simplified everything. I finished my coffee. Then I opened my laptop. Planning doesn't look dramatic. It looks boring. Spreadsheets, phone calls, quiet confirmations. By 8:30, I'd called my lawyer, the same one who'd helped me draft the prenup she'd laughed about and never read carefully. "Just reviewing options," I said. He understood the tone. By 9:15, I'd logged into every account I controlled, which was most of them. I didn't drain anything illegally. I simply separated what was mine. I stopped automatic payments, subscriptions, tuition installments, the apartment utilities, the credit card tied to my name. By noon, the apartment was listed, fully furnished, fast sale, below market, cash preferred. By 2 p.m., the offer came in. By 4:45, I signed. At 6 p.m., I canceled Europe. At 6:02, I booked a one-way ticket somewhere she'd never think to look. I packed light, essentials only. The rest stayed. I wanted it to feel abrupt, like a power outage, like gravity suddenly switching off. Before I left, I walked through the apartment one last time. I touched nothing. I took nothing sentimental. No photos, no souvenirs. I didn't want reminders. I wanted absence. I left one thing behind, a printed copy of her morning text placed neatly on the kitchen table. No note, no explanation. Silence is cleaner. She tried calling at 9:11 p.m. I watched it ring, then again at 9:14, then texts. Where are you? This isn't funny. The kids are asking for you. I turned my phone off, not out of cruelty, out of control. The next 2 weeks passed quietly for me. I woke up without tension, ate when I was hungry, slept without waiting for someone else's mood to dictate the room. I didn't check her social media. I didn't ask mutual friends for updates, but information has a way of finding you. They came back early. The reunion with real Dad didn't go as planned. Nostalgia cracked under routine. He had opinions, boundaries, expectations. He wasn't the myth they'd built. He wasn't patient. He wasn't generous. And he certainly wasn't paying for anything. The apartment was the first shock. Gone. Then the accounts, the cards, the school emails about unpaid balances, the utilities shut-off notice, the landlord's confirmation that the lease was terminated. Finally, the realization. I wasn't angry. I wasn't dramatic. I was prepared. She confronted my lawyer. He showed her the documents, the prenup, the clauses she'd skipped, the separation of assets, the fact that legally I owed her nothing. The kids asked about me. She didn't know what to say. He left wasn't the truth. It was just the version that hurt least. The real Dad disappeared again. Funny how patterns repeat. She sent one last message. I didn't think you'd actually go. I read it twice. Then I deleted it. People think revenge is about destruction. It's not. Destruction is emotional, messy, loud. What I did was subtraction. I removed myself, my money, my labor, my emotional safety net. I let them experience the world without the scaffolding they'd mistaken for entitlement. When they returned, nothing was left, because I had already given everything I was willing to lose. Sometimes late at night, I think about the kids. I hope they're okay. I hope they learn that love isn't defined by biology or convenience. I hope they remember that I showed up when it mattered. But I don't regret leaving. I wasn't their real dad. I was something more dangerous to lose. And they only understood that once I was gone.